Hey there, everybody. This is Kristen from Teaching Balance, and I am here with you for this week's 10-minute meditation practice. And as you know, we are in the month, this is the very last practice, the last week of the month of April, which was getting comfortable with discomfort. And one of the things that I realized as we're wrapping this month up is that I always am amazed at how the things that I am bringing out to you and teaching and sharing are often the very same lessons that I actually need very much for myself. So it's been a challenging month on a lot of levels. There's been plenty of discomfort. And so it was useful, I think, for me, and hopefully it was for you, to have some of these lessons. And so I thought we'd close it out actually with something a little different. I don't know if it's anything that I've ever done with you guys before. What we'll do is start with just a typical, mindfulness meditation. And then I think what I'd like to do is for the final few moments or so, maybe a little more than halfway through, do something that's referred to often as Tonglen, Tonglen. And the idea behind Tonglen is to help take pain away. And that's a bit of an oversimplification, so let me explain. The idea is that when there is pain or suffering, and it could be your own, but it really is, I think, more designed to help aid people, other people. The idea behind it is that essentially what you do is you kind of breathe in the pain and the fear and whatever, the suffering, and then you essentially let it pass through you. And it doesn't stick to you in any way. The idea is you almost think of it as inhaling, this, however you want to picture it, maybe as like smoke is how you think of the, the pain and the suffering and that sort of thing. And then once it goes into you, it just kind of disappears. So it's not this idea of like you are taking it on yourself. It's much more like you bring it in, and it's almost as though, stick with me for a second, but it's almost as though there's this door that opens, in your back or something like that, where it just goes away. And then the exhalation is your own fresh, breath that is, positive and all of that sort of stuff. But it's more about the inhaling and let it pass through you into who knows where, but it's not something that you're taking on yourself. So we'll finish with that, start with a regular meditation. So let's go ahead and get started. If you haven't already, go ahead and find your seat. I'll set my timer. Closing your eyes or lowering your gaze. And speaking of breathing, let's take a few deep, relaxing, and grounding breaths. Allowing that deep breathing to settle you, to help it drop you into your body, and for the ability to just be here now, letting that breathing be an anchor for us. So if you'd like to start by using the anchor of the breath to keep your awareness in the present, you can. Just allowing your breathing to resume its natural rhythm. Noticing where you're feeling the breath. Could be the nose, the chest, the abdomen. And if you can't decide, just pick one. Noticing that slight rising and falling that accompanies the inhale and the exhale. And if that's appealing to you, just thinking about that you're allowing yourself to ride the gentle wave of your breath. And if you'd like to, you can also rest your awareness on the sounds inside the room and outside the room. You might hear general background noise like heat or air, perhaps even a ringing in your ears. And then other sounds will come and go. And as best you can, just noticing the sounds without evaluating them as appealing or unappealing, or judging them, or telling yourself a story about them. What is that noise? What's making it? And you're just listening. Noticing with that curiosity and interest whatever you can hear. And finally, you can also rest your awareness on the body, feeling the support of the chair, the cushion, feeling your feet, your hands, your face, resting on one body part, or if you prefer, scanning through different parts. And if you care to, you can also hold your entire body in your awareness, if that's easier for you as well. Remembering that there's no right or wrong way for you to notice your body sensations. You're just bringing that curiosity and interest, witnessing the sensations, or the sounds, or the breath. Noticing where the mind is, and if it's wandered off, remembering that's never a problem, it's always expected, and that it's going to happen over and over again. Your job is to just notice that the mind has wandered, and then very gently and with compassion, bringing your attention back to the breath or sounds or the body. Coming back, and if you care to, labeling the thoughts as just thinking, or even more specifically, planning, remembering, worrying. And whatever the quality is of those thoughts, just being willing to see them for what they are, as just images, perhaps some dialogue or sound in your mind, but not what's happening now. All that's happening right now is you're just sitting and allowing yourself to be present in this moment. So if you'd like to, you can just continue to focus on your anchor and continue with the mindfulness meditation. But if you'd like to try this Tonglen, this deep compassion, where you help to alleviate the suffering of others, I want you to bring your attention to your breath. Noticing the quality of the breath, the sensations associated with it. And to begin, I'd like for you to just take a deep inhale. And as your lungs feel, imagine a door opening up in your back, allowing anything that you inhale that might be associated with suffering or pain to just flow through that door. And then when you exhale, exhaling out that clean air from within yourself. So if you care to, you can bring a particular person to mind, a circumstance, or even just the general pain and suffering of the world. And once again, breathe in and out. Breathing in and letting, if you want to picture it as smoke, the pain and suffering of others, breathing it in and it passes right through you, out into somewhere else. And then breathing out, clean, fresh air. Breathing in, picturing that smoke just passing out through your back, and then exhaling. And continuing to do this, if you care to, keeping your breathing a bit deeper. Or if it's more comfortable, just allowing your breathing to resume its natural rhythm, but keeping that quality of inhaling the pain, having it pass through you into some other place, and then exhaling. Inhaling the pain, passing it through yourself, and exhaling. Allowing yourself to, for the final few moments, just let all of that pain, suffering, discomfort come in through your nose, pass through you, and then exhaling out. And doing that just a few more times until the bell. And that is 10 minutes. So we started doing the Tonglen probably when there's maybe 4-ish minutes or so left. You could certainly do that as your entire practice. You could, of course, just pause this now and set a timer and, keep going if you felt like that was something that felt good for you. But again, just to reiterate, the important thing is as you're breathing in, it's not that you're holding or keeping that smoke or however you want to say it. It's you're kind of letting it pass through you, and without getting too woo-woo, you can think of it as perhaps going into another dimension or elsewhere or, whatever it might be. So it's not that you are tainted in any way by the pain and suffering. It doesn't linger, there's nothing in that regard. It's more just you are intentionally directing it within yourself and then outward to help pull it away from others. That's kind of the idea behind it. So if that was just the first time you've ever done anything like that, it definitely helps to do it a few times and just kind of play with it. Again, without any practice and, or not, that's not what I mean, without any pressure to have it be a certain way. It's just kind of an interesting, pulling in, releasing, and then you do your natural exhale, and a pulling in, releasing, and then you do your natural exhale. So if you thought that was interesting, the other thing you could do, if you're comfortable with it, is you can always just Google Tonglen, Tonglen, and find some additional meditations online that could possibly augment and complement whatever you got out of this one. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time to practice with me, and of course, more importantly, taking the time to practice for yourself. And I will see you next week in the month of May, which will have a new theme. So you will find out about that soon. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.